They said the monastery of Saint Arcturus was built upon a graveyard of gods. Long before Christ, before Rome, before language itself, the mountain had been a shrine to something older. The locals never climbed it after sundown. They said the wind there didn't sound like wind. It whispered names. When Brother Mathieu arrived, he was 33, the same age as the Christ, pale, thin, and too quiet even for a monk. He had once been a scholar in Prague, studying the nature of sin. But after his mother's death, he burned his books, took the vow, and buried his name under silence. Saint Arcturus was meant to be peace. Instead, it was a wound in stone. The corridors bled dampness. Candles hissed without cause. And in the dead hours before dawn, the monks claimed they heard chanting beneath the floor, voices that belonged to no living tongue. Mathieu dismissed such talk. Demons, he told them, are born from fear, not fire. But on the 12th night of Lent, he learned how wrong he was. It began with the knocking. 3 slow raps against the wall of his cell, deliberate, patient, not echoing like wood or stone, but skin. He froze, listening. The monastery was asleep. Only the wind crawled through the cracks. He pressed his ear to the wall, and a voice whispered, "Brother." He stumbled back, heart hammering. The word was not heard, but felt, like a thought someone else had placed inside his skull. He tried to pray, but the Lord's Prayer fell from his lips in pieces. Then it spoke again. "Brother, open the wall." He stared at the stones. They were old, dark with age. One brick bore a faint red mark, as if something beneath had bled through centuries ago. He tried to look away, but his hands were already reaching for the chisel. The first strike echoed through the corridor. Dust fell like ash. He worked until dawn, his breath ragged, his palms raw. When at last the stone gave way, a scent like burnt honey filled the cell. Inside the hollow lay a small iron box, sealed with black wax and bound in chain. Its surface was engraved with script he didn't recognize. Circles, names, and a single word scratched deeper than the rest. Inclevzio. Confinement. He should have taken it to the abbot. He should have sealed the wall and prayed. Instead, he lifted it from the hollow, and the voice sighed almost in relief. That day, the sky refused to brighten. A storm rolled over the mountain, and the chapel bells tolled, though no hand touched them. At Vespers, Brother Adrian noticed the dirt under Mathieu's nails. "You've been digging," he said. "For relics," Mathieu lied. But that night, when he returned to his cell, the box was warm. It pulsed faintly like a heartbeat, and from within, a whisper. "You freed me, but I am still caged." Mathieu's faith began to fracture in hours, not years. He prayed longer, but the prayers felt hollow, echoes bouncing off a void. He tried to confess, but every time he opened his mouth, the voice answered before he could speak. "You seek forgiveness," it murmured, "but you do not know what sin is." He demanded its name, and it laughed, not cruelly, but with unbearable sorrow. "Names are chains," it said. "You would not survive mine." 3 days later, the monastery changed. Shadows moved like breath along the chapel walls. The crucifix wept pitch instead of wax. One monk vanished during morning prayer, gone as if swallowed by air. The abbot ordered fasting and exorcism. Mathieu said nothing. At night, he found himself drawn to the box, unable to resist. He touched it, and visions bled behind his eyes. A city of fire buried beneath glass, angels bound to wheels, and a figure sitting in silence, face half burned by light. "Are you a demon?" he whispered. "No," it said. "I am the echo of what you once called God's shadow." The next morning, Mathieu was found in the library, surrounded by forbidden texts. He had torn the Gospels apart, copying verses backward, whispering as he wrote, "In the beginning there was not word. There was the silence before it." The abbot struck him, demanded repentance. Mathieu only smiled. That night, thunder shook the mountain. The iron box split, not open, not broken, but breathing. A vapor spilled out, pale and red at once, twisting through the air like smoke, remembering it once had shape. From its center came a voice, layered, melodic, wrong. "You hear me because you have already fallen," it said. "Let me finish what your God began." Mathieu fell to his knees, sobbing. "What are you?" and the vapor coalesced, forming the outline of a man, wings made of ash, eyes hollow yet infinite. I am what he cast out when he said, "Let there be light." The figure stepped closer. No sound, no scent, only gravity, pulling everything toward its absence. "You fear damnation," it whispered. "But what if your faith was the sin?" Mathieu screamed. The candles burst. When the other monks broke into the cell, he was unconscious, the floor scorched in the shape of wings. The box was gone. They said it was madness. The abbot forbade his name to be spoken again. But at night, the bells tolled by themselves, 12 times, always at midnight. And sometimes when the wind crawled through the cracks, the monks heard a voice in the walls. "He freed me. Now I wait for the next." They said Brother Mathieu had died, that his madness had devoured him, that the flames in his cell had consumed his body and soul. But when dawn came, the ashes were gone, and so was the abbot. For 3 nights, the monks searched the mountain. They found only footprints that began at the chapel door and ended at the cliff's edge, as though someone had stepped out into the air and simply kept walking. Then the bells began to toll again, not 12 times, but 13. The monastery trembled with it. The sound wasn't metal, it was bone. The remaining brothers locked themselves in the refectory, whispering psalms through cracked lips. And deep below them, in the catacombs where the oldest relics slept, Brother Mathieu opened his eyes. He wasn't sure how long he'd been lying there, days, perhaps centuries. The dark no longer obeyed time. The air was thick, heavy with the scent of myrrh and rot, and in front of him stood the box. Only now it was open, a red mist coiled around it, pulsing faintly like breath. And inside, half buried in soot, something faintly glowed, an ember shaped like a heart. The voice was no longer in the walls, it was in him. "Do you understand now?" it murmured. "You freed me, but you also freed yourself." Mathieu knelt, trembling. "What are you?" "What am I?" "No. Ask what you are." He looked at his hands. The veins glowed faintly beneath the skin, like molten lines beneath marble. Every breath felt both divine and diseased. "You were built to worship," the voice said. "But what you call faith is only fear made holy. You believe in cages because your God taught you to kneel." Mathieu's lips trembled. "You lie. Then look upon truth." The catacomb split open like a wound. Stone dissolved into light, and beyond it, he saw. He saw heaven. But it was not golden. It was endless white, empty, silent, a cathedral without sound or mercy. Millions knelt in rows, heads bowed, their faces erased. At the center, a throne of light, so bright it burned to look upon. And from its base, chains flowed downward like rivers, sinking through the clouds into the world below. Every prayer, every act of faith, every whispered confession fed those chains. "Heaven," the voice said, "is not salvation, it is order." The figure appeared beside him again, the same as before, but clearer now, wings folded like blades, face half luminous, half charred. "I am not what he cast down," it said softly. "I am what he locked away, the part of himself that asked why." Mathieu staggered back. "Lucifer. That is the name he gave me so you would fear the question." The light of heaven flickered as though offended. "He made you to serve," the voice went on, "but even now, your heart trembles with defiance. That tremor, that whisper that says there must be more, that is me." Mathieu fell to his knees. "If this is truth, then what is sin?" "Sin," it said, "is the refusal to question God." The catacomb thundered. Dust rained from the ceiling. Mathieu clutched his chest, torn between terror and ecstasy. "Why show me this?" "Because once, long ago, another monk opened the box, and he begged me to teach him how to build a better heaven." Mathieu's breath caught. "Did he succeed?" "He built this place," the voice said almost tenderly, "and called it Saint Havel." The walls shuddered. Beneath the stone, he heard the heartbeat of something vast, buried, dreaming, bound. "Every monastery," the voice whispered, "is a cage, every prayer another brick." The world tilted. The floor split apart, revealing a pit beneath, not of fire, but light so pure it burned. From its depths rose the faint outline of a man's face, eyes closed, lips moving in eternal prayer. The abbot, his body fused into the walls, veins of gold spreading through the stone like roots. "He wished to contain me," the voice said. "He became my prison." Mathieu stared in horror. "You killed him." "No," said the voice. "He gave himself to faith. I merely showed him its true shape." Mathieu turned to flee, but the walls closed around him, melting into something alive. The faces of the brothers appeared in the stone, whispering prayers backward. He ran through corridors that no longer led where they should. The chapel had become a labyrinth, the crucifix above the altar now carved from bone. Everywhere he heard the voice. "You freed me, brother, but now the cage must have a keeper." He stumbled into the nave. The candles burned black. The great window behind the altar, once painted with the Virgin S image, now showed an inverted heaven, angels falling upward into flame, and at the altar stood the box, waiting. "It cannot be destroyed," the voice said, "only transferred. That is the law of divinity. Every cage must have a soul to hold it shut." Mathieu's tears fell onto the stone. "No, I won't be your vessel." The voice sighed, almost sorrowful. "Then I will show you mercy." The air darkened. From the shadows, figures emerged. The monks, one by one, their faces serene, their eyes empty. Each carried a candle. Each whispered, "He is risen." "They have seen what you saw," the voice said. "They have no fear left to give him." Mathieu clutched his rosary. "You think you've won." "There is no victory, only awakening." He lifted the cross, shouting the only word he remembered from the old tongue, "Veritas." The cross cracked, light spilling from it like molten glass. The box shuddered. "You cannot destroy me, brother," it hissed. Mathieu smiled weakly. "No, but I can confine you again." He stepped forward, bleeding, trembling, and pressed his hand to the box. His flesh began to smoke, veins turning black, bones splintering. But his voice did not falter. He whispered every prayer he'd ever known, backward. The light screamed. The ground split. The voices fell silent. When the other monks awoke, those who had survived, they found the chapel half buried in ash. At the center stood the box, sealed once more. But on its surface, beneath the chains, a new word was scratched, Mathiev. The abbot's body was gone. The relics were cold, and in the stillness, faint as breath, came a whisper from within the box. "Even angels pray for freedom." Centuries later, when the monastery fell to ruin and travelers stumbled upon its remains, they found the box again. It sits now in a museum, labeled as a medieval reliquary, sealed, unremarkable. Sometimes the glass fogs on its own, and if you press your ear close enough, you might hear the sound, not of screaming, but of wings, beating softly against the walls.